I would actually do this presentation in English because my Swedish is not so good. So I'll do it in English. And I'll say, it's nice to be in Stockholm. I like Sweden. The only place nice on earth is Denmark. And I'm sure that you all think the same out there. And that's why you're sitting here watching now, because you want to know how you should enter the Danish market. And I'm going to present that to you. But I just have a fast question. How many of you are selling online in Denmark or are thinking about starting to sell in Denmark? That's quite a lot, I would say. I didn't think it was so much. My presentation is divided into 3 parts. First part is customer focus. It's about how your foreign customers sees your web shop and about how you should think about your foreign customers. Then it's 10 easy steps to new markets. And finally, I'll present how Coolstuff entered Denmark in just 3 months and became #1 gadget store in Denmark. Coolstuff is a Swedish web shop. I'll start with the customer focus. And this is Nikolaj's Koperniks, I think it's pronounced. And he's the guy who figured out that it's really not the sun that circles the earth, but it's the earth that circles the sun. In other words, he figured out that we're not the center of the universe. And I think that's really relevant for e-commerce today, because it's a typical thing I see with e-commerce sites, that they try to focus on themselves. They think they are the center of the universe. They never see it from the customer's perspective. They always see it from their perspective, especially when it comes to foreign customers. One example is if you have delivery cost for sending out in Sweden, you charge 35 kroner, send out anywhere in Sweden, you can get your package. But if you have to send to Norway, you charge 95 Swedish kroner. And the Norwegian customer will think, why do I have to pay 95 when all the other Norwegian web shops sell to me for 35 kroner delivery? So you have to take this perspective of the customer instead of just trying to cover your cost all the time. Oh, didn't help so much. The customer focus is a lot about that you cannot teach your foreign customers Swedish standards. Swedish e-commerce is great. You have a lot of great things in Swedish e-commerce, but so do we have in Denmark and Norway. And you have to try to understand your customers' needs, not your own. There's a lot of web shops, we are expanding because it's good to go into new markets. We all know that. It's like a trend. We all talk about it today. But the important thing is that we have to give the customer a reason to buy your stuff, because the customer is not just going to buy your stuff when you place it in front of him. You have to sell it to him. And you have to make the customer feel that they're the target group. Many web shops do this thing. They make, if you are a Danish customer, then click here, and then there's a guide on how you get delivery to Denmark. And it's not good enough, because you have to make it feel so the customer thinks this web shop is really made for me. Create value for your customers, obviously. That is the most important thing. Always try to think how your customer is thinking about your goods. Trust and safety. Try to make the web shop trustful, because when the customer comes into your web shop, he will think, as the first thing, he will be looking for a mistake in your web shop that will tell him that this is not a safe place to shop. And you cannot have those mistakes. If you have one mistake, he will think, this is a foreign shop, I'm not going to buy there. Make it local. Like Michelin, French company, but they make this product seem so much made for you. And I think you have to be, when you launch your web shop in Denmark, you have to make it 100% Danish. And when you launch it in Norway, it has to be 100% Norwegian. Not this middle thing where we just have, we have second priority customers from Denmark, and they're also welcome to buy in our shop, but they're not our priority. Because we're not competing with the other Danish web shops. We're not competing with the other Swedish web shops in the Danish market. We're competing with the Danish web shops in the Danish market, and that's those you have to beat. Think about what is the customer's total price, because the foreign customer pays more than just the price for the goods. The foreign customer pays the risk that the product won't be delivered. For instance, if that's a 5% extra chance that the product will not be delivered to Norway, the Norwegian customer is in principle paying extra 5% for his products. And so this is all those issues that you have to overcome and minimize as much as possible. And by that way, to increase the value for foreign customer. It's problem with customer service, payment methods, problem with return of goods, and problem with custom. It's all the things we've been talking about today. Now I have 10 easy steps to new markets. It's first, prioritize your customer. It's just what I said just before. I took this example. This is Smart Guy SA. It's one of Denmark's biggest web shop. It's top 5. And they do really good in Denmark. And this is the launch in Sweden. And I think it's good, but I don't feel prioritized as a customer when I get to know that it takes 5 to 7 days to get my clothes delivered. how are they going to compete with Zoo Village or any other Swedish web shop who have delivery in really short time? Then this thing about putting on delivery cost of 117 kron, again, it makes you think this web shop is not made for me. It's those small things, you have to make the customer feel prioritized.